You know.
Dang, yo.
So, what you think? Is there any such thing as a good police officer? What you think, B?
Can you repeat that?
Is there any such thing as a good police officer?
Um, damn. Wow. No, no. I would say no because I would say the temptation is always going to be there. There's always going to be that one officer, the propensity for him to snap, the propensity for him to want to steal money and do wrong and be influenced is always going to be there.
Hmm. Okay. So you're saying even if he was so called good, there's too much bad around him for him to.
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And when
Mhm.
you look at it, the officer has about 20, 22, 25 years before they retire. So the question would be for 25, 20 years, could you withstand from that temptation? And that would just be a individual question that each officer would have to ask himself. Hold
Yeah.
on, wait, did I say withstand? Withstand, withstand. I'm sorry. Caught my- Hey.
I don't even know if withstand is. I think you mean
No, withstand. Yeah, withstand the temptation. Yeah.
refrain. Were you trying to say refrain and withstand at the same time?
No, withstand is what withstand is what I'm trying to say, Hamp. I know what I'm trying to say.
You just said withstand. You just said
I know,
withstand,
but
B.
I said withstand, but I meant to say withstand.
What's
See, I got my words mixed up.
yo?
Yeah, I think refrain also works too, right?
Absolutely.
'Cause I think that might
Absolutely,
be.
Hamp. It was.
Yes, sir. I think that might be more appropriate, right? A little bit. So
Absolutely,
you
Hamp.
were on the right
Absolutely.
track. You just picked the wrong word once you got it right. No big deal. Because you were right on but you were right though. I think refrain was the word that I think you were going for that really fits. Like refrain from the temptation, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good job, B. You got that thesaurus. I bought
Yo.
him a thesaurus, so I see it. What you think, A? Is there any such thing as a good police officer?
Hmm. So I think it could be I think a good man can be a police officer. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at it in terms of it being like a gang mentality, it's only so much that person would do. You know what I'm saying? Because I got frat brothers that are cops, firemen, good men that I more than likely I think they would do the right thing. But then when you
Mhm.
look at from that gang mentality, the type of things that they go through, where the person that you with has to have your back. So I think to a degree they're always going to be somewhat partial to other officers and may not want to always stand up. And as we always talk about probability, you know what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, like, is it like it's possible, but it's not really likely that we have many officers who are going to do the right thing no matter what, even when everybody else who they're supposed to be with or be willing to stand up and kind of go against the whole gang that is the police. So
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think that's the problem. I think it's impossible for there be any such thing as a good police officer because the system is so broken. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's like if you plug a controller into your PlayStation, it could fire up and all that, but if that PlayStation ain't working, no matter how new that controller is, you know. Um, yeah, I think it's too many flaws, especially because law is so reactive. So something happens, then they create a law. Something happens, they create another law. You know, and largely it's against us, like Bub was alluded to earlier. We were 3/5 a man in Constitution, and then when it was written, we were considered property. So how can it possibly pertain to us or protect us when it wasn't written for us, even though we've seemingly have progressed? You know, um, like were we better off before segregation? I mean, before desegregation, like before they brought us together and made us go to those schools, were we better off at that point? Because we had our
Mm,
own everything, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, to answer that question, well, it's hard to answer that question because we wasn't there. But
Yeah.
I think our ancestors would say yes, that they do feel like they was better off because they had more community based programs and yeah, exactly. We had our own, but then
Yeah.
they
Married
made it,
for hire.
but then they made it seem like we could still have our own and live in the same spaces as them,
Hmm.
but they still fucking stripped everything from us, every fucking thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. Shit. I don't know. Interesting, man. God bless the dead, man. That one piece of that clip where she's like, Jalen would want peace. Like, don't you can't do that. That's
yeah, I hate that
irresponsible.
shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that nigga had a
We the most
burner.
forgiving people face of
He
the
had
earth.
he had a burner. He was running from the cops in the car. Then he jumped out and ran. Jalen wasn't looking for no peace. I don't think like don't put that on that man.
Yeah,
They always saying that shit. Now, and I kind of understand burning down where you got to shop at, but only a little bit. Like, do you remember the Target a CEO in I think it was where when George Floyd, he's like, let them burn that shit down. If they need to
yeah,
get it off their chest, let like
yeah.
he ain't tell them stop or no, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I don't know, man. It's a goddamn shame, man. But like Bub said, we've seen this far too often to assume that it'll get better.
Really,
Um,
right. Yeah, that's true.
and I just wish I had an answer, but I don't.
Yeah, me either. I don't
You
think
know?
anyone does.
Yeah. All right, let me share this real quick, man. 'Cause, bro, hey, look, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we out.
Yo.
Later.